So, Johnny Tudor, we missed a programme last week, but the reason, well, you had a pretty good excuse, didn't you? You had a busy week.
I was working last week for my sins. I was rehearsing, I was doing what they call an R&D, rehearse and development of a new musical called Toy Mike Trev.
How'd it go?
It went great. There was 8 of us all together.
Right.
Only one I knew from previously was Gillian and Lisa. Lisa, do you know Gillian?
Oh, I know Gillian. We should have her as a guest, shouldn't we? She'd be fun.
Yeah, we should. She's a character, character. So there were really nice people and the music was good, but it was intense. I mean, we had to learn like 8 songs and dialogue, and then we did it for 5 days, from 9 in the morning to 5, 6 at night.
Right.
And then on the last day, people were invited in, like the Sherman and Theatre Clwyd, and all these different people came to see if they want to back it, to take it a bit further. So fingers crossed they liked it, and I think they did. We never know.
You never know. And the other thing is...
But it was enjoyable, week anyway. Some great people, and it was good to be doing something constructive.
And you can't tell us anything about it, can you? You just...
I can't. Well, I can tell you basically what it's about. It's about a little guy called Trevor, who used to sing in the street. Everybody knows him in Cardiff, because he had a toy microphone. It was plastic, and he used to sing through it. And it's all about him and his life, really. And now his wife used to help him. And when she died, he was really sad. He used to go and sing every year. He used to get the train down from Pontypridd to come to Cardiff because he wanted to sing. That's all he wanted to do. It wasn't the money. He just liked to be there singing.
Fantastic.
And everybody liked him and all knew him. If you look him up on YouTube, there's loads of him on there.
Brilliant. Okay, well, we wish you all the best with that. Now then, today's programme is a special programme. It's a sad programme, but it's a bit of a tribute, isn't it? A tribute to, well, now, was he one of our British great dancers? Am I right in assuming that? Lionel Blair.
He was an actor to start with.
Right.
And as a kid, he decided he wanted to dance as well. So he learned it. But he surprised me, actually, because when he was about, he used to do lots of TV shows and things, and he used to choreograph. Him and his sister used to do a double act. It was, what was her name? Joyce Blair.
Right.
So it was him and Joyce Blair, and they used to do a double act. And then he got into TV, and he used to do lots of stuff on TV. And but I saw a clip of him dancing with Sammy Davis Jr., and he was really good. I mean, he was doing like when they do the drum, what they call those things.
A drum off type of thing.
But he was doing a tap off with Sammy Davis. And he was good. He was really good.
Yeah, because if you're going to go up against anybody tap dancing, if it's not Johnny Tudor, the next best is Sammy Davis. Because Sammy Davis, he was brilliant, wasn't he? He was, one off.
Sammy Davis to me was the epitome of an entertainer. He could do anything, but lots of people could do lots of things. But he did everything well. Mm-hmm. I mean, if he wanted to tap dance, he was brilliant. If he was a good singer, he was a good actor. I once saw him doing a thing with a gun. Did you ever see him do that?
No.
He had a 6-shooter gun, and he does the thing where he spins it like the cowboys.
Right.
It's unbelievable. He's spinning this gun and stick it in the altar and done the whole bit, where he run and down. And halfway through the routine, he went, I wouldn't do it if I wasn't good at it. But his dancing was something else. Yeah. I mean, he was dancing from the age of like 2 or 3 years old.
Yeah. So are you telling me that Lionel Blair came late to dance in that case? Was it?
Well, later, yeah, not too late. I mean, he was still a kid, I think. But acting was his main profession to start with. Mm. And he ended up going back to it, didn't he? He was in Chitty Chitty Bang Bang as the child catcher, I think.
Wow.
I remember going up to London to do an audition. It was a tap dancing audition for an advert. And I walk in and who's there but Lionel Blair? I had no chance. Not because I thought I was inferior to him dance-wise, but he was a big star.
He's Lionel Blair.
I went for one once and the Clark brothers turned up. I mean, I was jinxed.
It's not fair. That's not. I met him once. We used to do these celebrity parties. And so it was Linda Lusardi's wedding to Sam Cain. Lovely wedding. And actually they made us feel very, very welcome. Because sometimes you go to these events and you are the hired hands. But no, they've made us we were given a table, the band were given a table, the lighting lads and everybody. We got involved in it. And they had great guests. Les Dennis was there with the Mandan Holden in those days. Eddie Large turned up, and Eddie Large was about 5'4", and my
lovely bloke, Eddie.
Yeah, he was fantastic. He shared the microphone with my 6'3" guitarist Tim Hamill. And on All Right Now by Free. You know, it wasn't.
He died, you know, about a year ago, did Eddie?
Oh, yeah.
Because he'd had a heart transplant, you know.
Right.
Because he'd had a lot of problems with his heart, and he gave up show business. I was on YouTube with it, not YouTube, Facebook with it.
Right.
But the last time I saw Eddie, funny, I was in another funeral. It was in Ted Rogers' funeral.
Oh, wow.
But he was a really nice chap, Eddie. He lived over in Bristol in the end.
Oh, right. Yeah, well, and at this wedding, you know, so you've seen all these famous faces.
Yeah.
And there's Lionel Blair.
That's it.
Do you know what I mean? When you're so used to seeing somebody on the TV, and then when you see them in real life, it's like, oh my gosh, Lionel Blair. And he was lovely. You know, he talked to the band and everything. And of course, we specialised in making people get up and dance. And fair play, he didn't let us down.
Yeah.
He could twist like the best of them, you know. So, you know,
I mean, I only met him the once, but I knew of him obviously because he was always in show business when I started. You know, he was like the big name on TV and stuff like that. But I'll tell you a funny story. Remember Rodri Morgan used to be head of the Cynulliad? He was the anyway,
First Minister.
Apparently, Tony Blair used to stay with him when he came to Cardiff. Right. And the wife said, "I've just been down and given Lionel his breakfast." He started calling him Lionel.
Because he managed to do, or as you say, lots of different things. In fact, for many people, they don't think of him as a dancer. They think of him as the, you know, give us a clue when he was very competitive with Eunice Stubbs. I mean, being versatile. You know, we've often talked about how the industry has changed, but he certainly, you could certainly say about Lionel Blair, he was versatile, wasn't he? He was managed to keep a career going, and always telling great stories. You know about.
Well, he was on TV not long ago in that series when they all went to India. Yeah. Remember the what was that program they did? Where they all went. It was based on the Marigold Hotel.
That's right. Yeah.
And he went there. There was him, and there was a few more of them. And that was not long ago, and he's 92, you know, when he died. So he kept going till the very end.
Yeah, fantastic.
But dancing keeps you young, see, Mal. I mean, that's the thing. It does. Yeah. Keeps you young because, you know, you're energetic, you're doing stuff.
Yeah.
And you're learning. They say, too, that dancing of any sort is very good for the old cognitive bit with the brain. You've got to learn a step, and it's, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's good for you.
Well, the thing is, and you've got to learn a new step every time, haven't you? You know, because I'm looking at these people, well, just change the subject slightly then onto Strictly. You know, because when we talk to your dancer friends, you know, we were talking about, and they'd learn a routine and they do it, and but you know, nothing's written down. I'm looking at these people. Some of them have never danced before, like Dan Walker and all of that, and it's pretty remarkable to do that in such little time, isn't it?
I take my hat off, Joe. I tell you what. I mean, I know they've got a week to do it, but and probably 8 hours a day to rehearse. But they're not dancers. I mean, dancers will pick up the routine in a day and then rehearse it for a week to get it right. But these people, they've never danced. And, I mean, they're phenomenal. Like that little deaf girl, she's fantastic. How she does it, I'll never know. She must be able to hear rhythm or sound because she can't hear sounds. And she's dancing and she's in time. So you can see her counting, you know, like she's keeping in time counting as well. But I mean, it's phenomenal they get away. Some of the routines are fantastic too. Yeah,
especially the ones at the beginning of the shows, aren't they? When they do a whole professional dances.
No, they did one last week. I think it was an Irish theme. So they had a couple of Irish dancers. Because did you ever see the river dance? I mean, I know you saw it on TV, but did you see it live?
No, never live.
Fantastic. I mean, I went to see it in London when it first came out, you know.
Yeah.
So, I mean, with Irish dancing, it's tap dancing, but it's a different kind of tap dancing. It's very straight-bodied and just the legs are moving, you know, whereas... But, I mean, the speed they do it, I mean, it's unbelievable. There's only about 3 or 4 steps. They keep repeating them, but it's the precision of it all together, you know.
Yeah, and they used to go up and down the line, didn't they? He'd point to them.
Like a gun going out. Yeah.
Could we ever do that with Welsh clog dancing?
I don't think so. It's not as energetic, is it? Clog dancing somehow.
No.
I mean, theirs is clog dancing. It's Irish clogs, but they've developed it further. Mind you, the guy that did that, He's American Irish, isn't he?
Yeah.
What was his name?
Flaherty, was it?
That's him, yeah, Flaherty. He was. I think he was born in Chicago or something. But he lives in Ireland. He bought a castle in Ireland.
As you do.
Yeah, as you do. He made a fortune. But he was phenomenal. He was phenomenal.
All right. And are you watching?
But like you just say about come dancing, nothing's written down. It's all muscle memory with dancing. Except ballet dancing. I mean, ballet dancing, they've got name for all the steps, like jetés, entrechats, tournées and all that. But they got none of that in tap dancing. They got like, you do a time step here, or you do a cramp roll, that's about it. Or a shuffle. And you just got to learn it from somebody else. It's just passed down.
Yeah.
Because I'm convinced that tap dancing, I might be wrong here, came from when the Irish and the Welsh and all those went over to America doing that. Like, I worked with one bloke called Will Gaines, and he was on the Palladium a few times. I worked with him in Germany. He was a phenomenal tap dancer. And he said, what we used to do as kids, we'd have pieces of tin, and we'd stick them on the bottom of our ordinary shoes, and we'd tap dance in the street for money, you know. Wow. And they were fabulous. And that's why they kept low to the ground, because these things would come off if they lifted their feet, because they were only just tacked on, see?
Yeah.
But he taught me a few things. When I put my taps on new shoes, he said, you get the araldite, John. You make a couple of little holes, you put the araldite in it, and then you screw it into the araldite, and then let it harden. And then when you unscrew it, you've got a thread, and you can loosen them a bit so you get a better sound.
Wow. Yeah. That's great. Have you got any? So who do you think is going to win Strictly, just while I've got you?
Well, the standard is so high this year. I mean, I think it's between the two guys, Johannes and his partner, I've forgotten his name.
AJ's very good, isn't she?
And AJ,
she's never danced before.
Dancing with Kai, she's terrific. I quite like Tom. He's in the group.
McFly.
McFly. I think he's great. I don't know whether he's good enough to beat the other two, but, there's a lot of them in the mix there. I tell you also who's very good, and she's developed, is Gordon Ramsay's daughter.
Yes.
She's really, and she's got a lovely little personality when she's dancing,
Yeah.
They're all good. In their way, they're different, but they're all good.
Yeah, and what entertainment. I mean, it's
fantastic.
It's the TV up to Christmas every year now. All right, well, look, lovely.
It's the muscle memory. How they remember these steps is they have to do it over and over, so they just do it automatically.
You don't have to think about it. A bit like us doing a podcast.
I know. It's a bit like us singing and dancing.
All right, man. Look, lovely to speak to you, and I'll see you next week. So it's goodbye from him,
and it's goodbye from him.